Thank you for clicking on this video. This is a short review from one of our longer episodes that we upload weekly. If you'd like to check out the full episode, we'll put a link in the description and a time card in the video here. But if not, enjoy the episode and thank you for watching. On my list, I have June 2nd, right after our cutoff, is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. So I think that's what we're going to talk about first. And why don't we pick a name at the hat and take it away, Robert.
I'm ready. So when I first saw that movie, I think my mind was pleasured in ways I've never felt before, and yeah, and
Maybe
and
bringing you back was a mistake.
what's that?
Maybe bringing you back was a mistake.
Of
This
course it
isn't
is.
this isn't child friendly, but it's also not like pornographic.
This is not a BDSM podcast. Um. Anyway, I loved it from the second it started till the second it ended. The art, the music, the the visuals, the story, the characters, just absolutely loved and adored everything about it. But definitely after I think talking to you guys about it, I had originally given it a 9.5 because I just thought it was a masterpiece. But you know, after talking to you guys about it, I did lower it with the whole it's not a finished story, even though it's a part one, um, but it's not finished, right? So
Yeah, it's hard to judge
yeah,
a film when half of it's been told. It's like Dune for me as well, where it's just like it's really hard for me to give it a good rating when it's half a film because it's not like because like the best comparison we can talk about, which is going to come up later on, is Mission Impossible. Because to me, that felt like a fully fledged film,
Yeah.
like Act 1, 2, and 3,
Yeah.
whereas Spider-Man felt like Act 1 and 2, and then it finished,
yeah.
and then we're going to get Act 3 next. Well, it's supposed to be next year, but I think it's been delayed even longer. So
It's been delayed 3 years.
so that doesn't exactly help, you know. So because everyone's like, "Oh, don't worry, it's only next year. It's only 9 months you need to wait." It's like, well, no, it's like a good couple of years now.
Yeah.
So yeah,
But,
but I think we're all on the same page. I think we all do love this film. I think it's really good
absolutely.
and visually amazing. I think the music's great as well. It's literally just the end that puts me off.
Even though the end is great, it's a great
Yeah.
end, but it's not an end.
Do you
Do you
think
know?
that with the knowledge of how it ends, that will change how you go to view it on a second viewing?
Yeah.
And do you think that will be positive or negative on your second viewing?
I think it'll be more positive because I was going in thinking it's a full film. Because the thing is, if it was called Part 1, then I would be like, okay, right, I'm expecting it to end like a sort of cliffhanger kind of thing, whatever, next, and then the Part 2 comes. But they didn't do that. They just labeled it as a sequel. So, whereas, again, Mission Impossible called it Part 1, even though that's the one that feels like a fully fledged film. So, like, I'm confused. Because Avengers Endgame and that, they were supposed to be Part 1 and 2. But they changed it.
Do you think part of the mark? Because like going into Infinity War, I was aware that Endgame was like a part two of that film.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
going into this film, I didn't realize until I came out how close the second film was supposed to be before it got delayed. Do you think that's maybe part of the thing? Had they like marketed that the next film was just around the corner, that you'd have maybe taken that a bit easier?
Yeah. Well, but I've heard like people where they've taken their kids, so even the kids are like, oh,
Yeah.
you know, so I can imagine it's annoying, but at the end of the day, absolutely, it's insane animation. Like it's
Stunning.
freaking. Do I like it more than the first one? Probably not, but maybe it's only because of the ending. Also, not enough Peter B. Parker,
Yeah,
man. He's the best.
I think that's part of what the third film's going to be is getting back the crew from the original film because they obviously
Yeah.
make a cameo at the end of the film. I should say, spoilers for any film this summer that you might not have seen.
Spoilers for any film we talk
Yeah.
about in general.
Cards in the description. You might want to steer clear because we are a
Yeah.
spoiler and everything. But yeah, so like Nick Cage's character, his like Spider-Man Noir comes back at the end and Peter Porker and all that. But I really think I don't think they're necessary, but I definitely think Peter B. Parker was. I think he was lacking in this film, and like not
Yeah.
anything to do with quality, but they're just lacking screen time because I really liked him and Niles in the first one.
Yeah, me.
Yeah, but his arc came, you know what I mean? And like Gwen is now the sort of secondary character, you know, which I'm fine with. But I do love him. He's my favorite, so of course I'm not going to say no more screen time of him and his little cute baby. So cute redhead baby.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see because there's been a bit of backlash to do with the Blu-ray and streaming releases. I think
Oh, really?
No, yeah.
with them changing lines of dialogue or removing dialogue or things like that, just kind of shifting things about. So I don't know I don't know if that's been resolved, if we've got like a theatrical cut again, or if they're doing a George Lucas, they're sticking by their gun.
No, right.
I'm not sure, but I know for a fact, and I'd like to see if this is fixed, that when I went and seen it, there was audio issues with the film, and I put that down to the cinema, but then obviously it came out that a lot of people had the same issue. So I think there was something wrong with the mix, at least when it first came out. But yeah, I'd be interested in a second watch to see if that's still a thing. But I don't think either of you guys had that problem, right?
No, I did, because I had gone I think I'd seen it 4 times in a cinema, and I didn't have an issue with it, like. But I did see it. Maybe I think I saw it a little bit later with that, but it might have just been the cinema that I went to. It was fine.
The only time I saw an issue is right at the start when she's playing drums. I could barely hear her. Gwen, that is.
The narration.
Yeah, and I don't think it's on purpose because you literally can't hear her. So I'm like, well,
Yeah.
that defeats the purpose of a narration. But after that, it was totally fine for me. I never noticed it. After
It was a bit Tenet for me, probably until about halfway through the film.
that.
Maybe not. Well, maybe not halfway. Maybe like a third of the way through the film or something. It was like Tenet. People were talking. And I was like, eh.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, I think I'm probably in the same boat as Brandon. I don't know exactly if you're in the same boat, Robert, but I would say this is probably weak. I think there's parts of this that are stronger than the first one, but I think overall as a film, I much prefer the first one.
I think it's safe to say we're all looking forward to the third one, though. No doubt.
I definitely agree with you both. I think if I'm going for a story, the first one, 100%. But if I'm just going for like this is just going to look nice, then this with a 95% good story just without an ending. Sorry. And then I would definitely go for this. But the first one I do think is absolutely like the better one.